We continue now at the top of Daf Samech Zayin Amud Aleph in Maseches Baba Basra. This is Baba Basra Daf 67a. And the previous Amud of Nehemiah sent to Rabbi the following message: when this particular woman comes before you, so you should allow her Agva Isser Nichse, you should allow her to collect from 1/10 of the property, 1/10 of the land, and Afilu Mitzda Ruble Derechaim, and even from the lower millstone. The point over here is that that also is considered to be like land. And the Rashbam explains Isser Nichse Shahabas Noteles Benichse Avia. This is talking about the 1/10 of the property that a daughter is entitled to from the property of her father when there's an inheritance. Bishvil Parnasas Abali Nasebo, that's for her dowry. So he's saying essentially that you're going to collect 1/10 of the landed property, and again that includes the lower millstone, which is considered to be like land. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Ashi says, Kavinan Bei Rav Kahana, when I was by Rav Kahana, Magvinan Afilo Me Amlo Debati, we would collect even from the rent that comes in from the houses. That rent is also, since it comes from something which is land, that's considered to be like land, and that also would be collected in terms of this dowry collection. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, HaMocher es HaChatzer, one who sells a Chatzer, a courtyard, Machar Botim, Boros, Shichenu, Ma'oros, included in the sale. He has also sold the houses and the pits and the ditches and the caves. That's all included in the sale of a Chatzer and the sale of a courtyard. Avaloas HaMataltlin, but not the movable property. The movable property is not included within the sale. Bizman Sha'amar Lohu V'chol Masha B'socho. Now, if he says that I'm selling you the Chatzer and everything within it, Harei Kulan Mechuran, then the movable property as well, everything is going to be considered sold. Bein kach uvein kach, but whatever he says, whether he says that added phrase or not, lo machar lo es hamerchatz v'lo es beis habad, he has not sold the bathhouse and he has not sold the olive press shebesocha that are within it. Those are not considered included within the sale of the chotzer. And the Mishnah says, Rabbi Eliezer says, hamocher es hachotzer lo machar elo avira shel chotzer. If one sells a courtyard, he has only sold the airspace of the courtyard, and that means to say that it is not included. You do not include things like houses, etc., within the sale. It is only the airspace of the courtyard. And the Gemara says, Tanu Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, hamocher es hachotzer, if somebody sells a chotzer, machar bottom hachitzonim u bottom hapnimim. He has sold both the outer houses and the inner houses. The outer houses are the houses that are accessed directly from the chotzer. The inner houses are the ones you only get to when you go through the outer houses, but all of them are sold together with the chotzer. U beis hacholsos, also included in the sale is the beis hacholsos, which is the sand fields. These are fields that they use the sand to make glass. That was like a makam chashav b'fnei atzmo. It was an important area that was kind of independent. That's also included within the sale of the chotzer. And also included in the sale of the chotzer is chanuyos, psuchos, lesocha, nimkaros ima. If you have the stores that open into the chotzer, those are sold together with the chotzer. V'she'ein psuchos lesocha, but let's say you have stores which don't open into the chotzer, rather they may be by the chotzer, but they open into the public domain, they open into the Rosh Hashanah, ein nimkaros ima, those are not sold together with the chotzer. And psuchos lekan lekan, now if the stores open both ways, they open to the chotzer and they open to the public domain as well, so then nimkaros ima, then they are sold together with the chotzer. And the Brisa continues, Rabbi Eliezer says, hamocher es hachotzer, if somebody sells a courtyard, lo mocher elo milusa shel chotzer, he only sells the airspace of the courtyard, only the airspace and nothing else. And the Gemara continues, Amar Mar, the master said, we just said in the Brisa above, psuchos lekanu lekan nimkaros ima, that if the stores open to both the chotzer and the public domain, so they are sold together with the chotzer. And the Gemara asks, Vatani Rabbi Chia, but didn't Rabbi Chia teach ein nimkaros ima, that on the contrary, if they open in both directions, they are not sold together with the chotzer? And the Gemara answers, Lokash, it's not difficult. Hadu rov tashmishtayu legav. In one case, we're talking where most of their use is towards the inside, towards the chotzer. If the majority of the use is with the people in the chotzer, so then we say that it's sold together with the chotzer. And hadu rov tashmitayu levar. In the other case, we're talking where most of the use is towards the outside, toward the public domain. Then they are not sold together with the chotzer. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said, Rabbi Eliezer says, hamocher es hachotzer, one who sells a courtyard, lo machar ela avira shel chotzer, all he has sold is the airspace of the chotzer. And the Gemara says, Amar Rava says, Ido Amar le dirasa, if the way he phrased it was, I'm selling you dirasa, the kuli alma lo pligi, then there's no argument whatsoever, meaning there's no machlokas tanoim. Everybody agrees debate mashma. Everybody agrees the word dirasa, which means like the place where the person lives, that means to say the houses, that includes the houses within the sale. There's no machlokas about that. Ki pligi da'amar le darta. The machlokas is if instead of using the word dirasa, the person uses the word darta. Mar savar tarbitza mashma. One says that the word darta, it means to say tarbitza, which is like the garden, meaning only the airspace, only the open areas. That's what Rabbi Eliezer says. Umar savar, but the other one says no, bate mashma. The word darta, it seems to indicate the living quarters, and it means to include the houses as well. And the Gemara continues, Zika diamri, there are those that say a slightly different version of what we said above. Amar Rava says, Idamar le darta de kuliyam lo pligi de bate mashma. If he uses the word darta, if that's what he says to him, so then there's no machlokas tanoim. Everybody agrees that it means the houses as well. Ki pligi, when do the tanoim argue? Damar le chotzer. That's if he says to him that he's selling him the chotzer. Mar savar chotzer avira mashma. One master holds, meaning Rabbi Eliezer holds, that the word chotzer means the airspace. It's just the open areas. It does not include the houses. Umar savar, and the Tanakama, the Mishnah, the Tanakama holds ke chotzer hamishkan. When you use the word chotzer, it's like when we say chotzer hamishkan. When we say chotzer hamishkan, it includes as well the mishkan itself. So too, when you use the word chotzer over here, it includes the houses. And the Gemara continues, V'yamar Rava Amar Rav Nachman, and Rava says that Rav Nachman says, Mochar lo chulsis u'metzula. Let's say he sells them the chulsis, which again is the sand field, which they use to make glass, and a metzula is a pond, which they're using for fishing. So the halacha is, hechzik b'chulsis, if he makes a chazaka on the chulsis, on the sand field, lo kana metzula, he does not acquire the pond, and hechzik b'metzula, if he makes a chazaka on the pond, lo kana chulsis, he doesn't automatically, with that chazaka, acquire the sand field. And the Gemara says, Ini, is that really the case? V'amar Shmuel, but didn't Shmuel say, Machar lo eser sados be'eser medinos, if he sells him 10 fields in 10 different provinces, Kevon shehechzek ba'achas mehen, once the buyer makes a chazak on one of the fields, kanakulan, he acquires all of them. So why don't we say the same thing when we're talking about the chulsis and the metzula? And the Gemara answers, Hasam over there, who the sadna di'ara chad, who there we say that the sadna di'ara, the geographic block of the land in general, is all one, all land is connected, and furthermore, v'kula chada tashmishtu, it's all the same use, it's all one use, and so therefore you make a chazak in one, you acquire all of them. Aval hacha, but over here, when we're talking about the chulsis and the metzula, hatashmishta l'chud v'hatashmishta l'chud, this has its own unique use, and the other one has its own unique use, and therefore a kinyan on one is not going to affect the kinyan on the other. And the Gemara continues, Vika di'amri, and there are those that say, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video, on Daf Samech Zayin Amid Beis.